对，咱们准备开始吧，
好的，
好吗？
直播连好了，可以
我们
开始了。
简短开个场，然后介绍一下你个人，然
好的，
后接下来就是你的主讲时间。结束之后，咱们做一个观众的问答，
好，
然后就和参加活动的客人们做告别，好吗？
嗯，
So, schönen guten Abend, liebe Gäste, online und eben auch im Präsenz. Es freut uns natürlich, dass Sie wieder dabei sind zu den 206. Show Fix am 14. Februar, zwar den zweiten Freitag im Februar. Gut, da haben wir leider äh, den Valentinstag am Abend erwischen müssen. Aber trotzdem halten wir den Vortrag termingemäß durch. Und heute haben wir unsere Referentin Frau Liuying anwesend, auch durch Online-Verbindung. Sie hat gerade dienstlich Aufgaben im Rahmen vom äh, Filmfest Berlinale Besuch. Sie leitet jetzt ihr Ausstellungsteam in Berlin unterwegs und nimmt sich Zeit für unsere Gäste mit ihrem Vortragsthemen die Ökonomie der chinesischen Festival. Frau Liuying ist als Vorstandsmitglied von dem Filmkritiker Association in Shanghai seit schon Jahren. Außerdem beruflich ist sie auch aktiv für Filmverleih und internationalen Vertrieb. Seit 2022 arbeiten wir im großen Glück mit ihr für Programmentwicklung unseres chinesischen Filmfest hier in München. Und in den letzten Jahren dürfen wir natürlich mit ihrer Unterstützung schrittweise immer größere Erfolg ziehen dürfen. Äh, gut, an dieser Stelle übergebe ich das Wort an Frau Zauleri für den heutigen Abendvortrag. Liu Ying, 谢谢
嗯，
你。
好，谢谢康老师，danke Herr Kan. Hello everyone, my name is Liuying, and I'm very happy to be here tonight. Although online, sorry that I cannot be physically in Munich, because as Mr. Khan has said, I'm now having a business trip in Berlin. I'm here for the Berlinale and also the European film market. I'd like to talk a little bit about myself because I'm like doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But in general, I'm a big fan of film festivals. That's why I decided to choose film festival as my topic today. So I started to come to film festivals quite early, like almost like over 10 years ago, when I was studying in Europe, and I participated in lots of film festivals in Europe, including the biggest ones, Berlinale, Cannes, and Venice. I discovered my passion for film festival and also the the industry of cinema in general. That's why I decided after graduation to continue working in this field. Um, I started my career as a film critic, and soon afterwards, I found out that, especially among the Chinese young directors, there was a need for going to festivals because they shot their films and they didn't know what to do. And who they should reach out to after the film is finished. So we started to help those young filmmakers and try to put up a festival strategy for them. And therefore, I work also a lot with film festivals all around the world, promoting the films from China, of course, and but in a more general sense, the film from Asia to the international markets. And that's how I started to work in the industry as a sales agent. But of course, my passion also goes to the curation and the programming, and I have such great pleasure to work with a Chinese film festival in Munich to introduce more good Chinese titles to the audience in Germany. And I also have an Asian film festival in Vienna, where I'm currently based. We try to showcase more interesting titles from Asia, which is very underrepresented in Europe in general. So I'm very happy that I can take this chance tonight to talk a little bit about the festival scene in China, because I guess for most of the people who are based in Europe, you are very familiar with the festival system, especially, yeah, the biggest one that I've mentioned. But how about China? What is the past situation, the situation in the past and in present uh, of the Chinese film festivals? I want to take the opportunity to introduce a little bit on that topic, and also talk a little bit about how the Chinese Film Festival help the Chinese film industry to be a more comprehensive and a more like a better film industry. So yeah, in general, the film festival in China plays a very important role. But before starting, um, start with the definition about a film festival. So yeah, next page, please. Yeah, so a film festival is an organized event that showcases a curated selection of films, often focusing on specific genres, themes, or regions. It serves as a platform for filmmakers to present their work, engage with the audience, and foster the industry connections. So it's very important to bear in mind that a film festival is not only a place where the selected films are shown, but also a hub for the industry professions to meet each other and to develop new projects. So there is one part of the festival that is for the audience, the public, and the other part of the festival that is catered to the professionals. So the industrial part is really a very essential part of film festival that we need to bear in mind. So the concept of film festivals dates back to the early 20th century. The Venice Film Festival, founded in 1932, is recognized as the world's first film festival, so the oldest one. It set the stage for other renowned film festivals like Cannes, which was founded in 1946, and Berlinale, Berlin International Film Festival, which was founded in 1951. Those film festivals not only celebrate cinema, but also serves as a hub for cultural exchange and industry networking. Now let's turn our attention to China. Actually, the roots of Chinese Film Festival can be traced back to 1962. So basically, in 1962, there was one award called 100 Flowers Awards, and that was created back then. The award still exists. It's called 百花奖 in Chinese. This award is considered the earliest form of a film festival in China, as it celebrated outstanding films based on audience votes. The 100 Flowers Awards were unique because they reflected the preference of ordinary moviegoers rather than just critics or industry professionals. For example, in its early years, films like The Red Detachment of Women, 红色娘子军, and Li Shuangshuang won the awards, showcasing the popularity of revolutionary and socially relevant themes. while not a traditional film festival in the modern sense, the 100 Flowers Awards led the groundwork for the development of a more structured festivals in China, such as Shanghai International Film Festival and Beijing International Film Festival, which we will discuss in details later. Next page, please. With this historical context in mind, let's now explore the current landscape of Chinese film festivals and ecosystem that they've formed. First, it's actually in China, there are lots of film festivals. According to some statistics, there are over 100 film festivals across China because we are such a big country. So I'm not surprised that there are so many festivals existing in our country. But I think the most active ones are less than 30. But I mean, with the development of time, there are actually more and more festivals coming up, which we will mention later. So those festivals, with like the numbers of the festivals is big, but we can categorize them we can put them in like more or less four categories. So first of all, it's like the government supported comprehensive film festivals. Those are mostly city-based festivals that receive significant backing from local or national governments. A prime example is again, Shanghai International Film Festival, founded in 1993. It's one of Asia's largest and most prestigious film festivals, screening over 450 films annually and attracting global filmmakers like Zhang Yimou, Jia Zhangke, Wang Kawei, for example. Another key festival is Beijing International Film Festival, which was established a little bit later. So the first edition was held in 2011. Beijing International Film Festival focuses on international collaborations and industry networking, often featuring high-profile premieres in China. So Beijing takes place in April and Shanghai takes place in June. So really the first half of the year, like for us, the industry people, we go to both festivals back to back. It's a little bit different between Beijing and Shanghai. While Beijing is more focused on Beijing is the cinematic hub of China and it's quite political oriented. So the festival looks more official, let's say. Like there are lots of red carpet events where the officials or the like prestigious directors would attend, while Shanghai is a little bit more international or diversified. But they are both very important platforms for us to work and for the mass audience in those cities to attend the screening. And another interesting example of the government-supported film festival is Hainan Island International Film Festival. It's a very young festival launched in 2018. It leverages Hainan's tourism industry and government support to create a unique festival experience. Since Hainan Island is quite far from the major cinematic cities, the festival has its own characteristics because even it takes place in winter, it's still very warm on the island. And the attendants of the festival can enjoy the tropical weather while watching the films. They even have lots of open air screenings in winter, which is really like a nice experience. And Hainan International Festival gets lots of support from the special economic zone in Hainan. So the films that they chose are kind of like has like more freedom to show what they really want to show. And they combined the showcase of art house cinema with the particularly organized events. Like they also invited lots of stars from the Western countries and to trying to attract more audience from other parts of China to Hainan. So it really creates a very unique ambience, although it has encountered some problems during the past few years, the festival was relaunched last year with a new team. So people are very, very curious about how this festival will develop and how influential it will become, because the local government really put a lot of money in holding such event. And interestingly, like I said, the festivals are not static. So it's not like, okay, we establish a festival and then it will not change. Actually, like for some festivals, they have changed the venues, they have changed the cities even. For instance, the Golden Rooster Film Festival, 金鸡电影展, which was originally held in Fuzhou, moved to Xiamen in 2019. This shift reflects the festival's growing scale and the government's desire to promote Xiamen as a culture hub. So, as we can see, that the development of certain festival is very, very relevant to how determined the local government is in promoting culture sector and in promoting cinema. So this is like the first category of the festival. And the second one is what we call comprehensive film festival with strong curatorial focus. So these are the festivals that rely more on non-governmental resources and are known for their artistic vision and innovative programming. One of the best examples that I can give in for this category is Pingyao International Film Festival, founded in 2017. So also a very young festival. The festival was founded by acclaimed director Jia Zhangke, together with his collaborator Marco Müller, who was the ex-director of Venice International Film Festival. Although Marco is not working for Pingyao anymore, he laid the foundation of the festival, as he himself is a Westerner, but very, very much into Asian cinema, especially Chinese cinema. He can speak perfect Chinese, and back to the time when he was the director of Venice Film Festival, he already invited lots of Chinese filmmakers and films to Venice, and he also collects Chinese films and has a very, very nice archive. So he is the expert of the Chinese cinema. That's why him together with Jia Zhangke, this duo, they really did a good job by attracting international filmmakers and attracting the international media and showing them that Pingyao exists, and this is like a new, very vibrant festival that is going to shine in the scene. So the festival emphasizes independent and art house cinema, of course, and shadow the lights on the films of young directors around the world. And the festival also gets support from Pingyao local government, because Jia Zhangke is from Shanxi province, and he's very attached to the province, as you can see from his work. So he intends to bring more culture stuff to his homeland. Therefore, he works closely with the local government. Although it's not necessarily always a good thing to work closely with the local government, but still he could get lots of resources and the support and the media attention thanks to this collaboration. I will go back to Pingyao later because I think it's really an interesting example of of Chinese film festival. So another festival that I want to mention briefly here is First International Film Festival held in Xining. Known for its focus on emergent talents, First has premiered groundbreaking works like Hubo's An Elephant Sitting Still. It's a vital platform for young filmmakers to gain recognition. And the festival was, some people call the festival the Chinese Sundance, also like Chinese Rotterdam. So it boasts like a very independent spirit. But in the recent years, they also try to work very closely with the industry, because like for Sundance in the US, it also plays the role like a jump board for independent filmmakers to the mainstream industry. So if you are independent, if you make a film with very low budget, thanks to those festivals, you can also be discovered by bigger studios or bigger companies, for example, and you don't have to always shoot low budget films your entire life. You can also shoot something like with relatively bigger budget. So I think that's also the goal for First International Film Festival. So they try to pitch the projects of young filmmakers to the decision makers of the industry, and they try to help them and get more resources for the young filmmakers, which really worked. But of course, for the bigger studios or the bigger companies who want to discover new talents, first sometimes is too independent in a way, and the film that they chose are maybe somehow too underground. That's why it's quite difficult for the filmmakers to be discovered or to be recognized by bigger studios who are mostly, money-minded or market-oriented. So yeah, it's not always an easy job for festivals, or it's not always an easy role to play. But the festivals is like trying very hard to bridge the gap, to bring the independent spirit to a much more mainstream scene. So this is a first international film festival that fits into the second category. And the third category is independent and niche film festivals. It's very interesting because those festivals started to develop with a rapid pace after the pandemic. I think the being being like, because during the pandemic people really didn't have any way to get access to the films or to the cinema, and people had this eager to have more, to see more or to discover more. So after the pandemic, lots of new festivals or new showcases were founded or created. For example, the Nowness China Short Film Award that celebrates short films, providing a platform for experimental and avant-garde works. Similarly, Beijing International Short Film Festival focuses exclusively on short films and showcasing talents like Qiu Yang, whose short Gentle Night won the Palme d'Or for the best short film at Cannes. Actually, Beijing International Short Film Festival existed before the pandemic, but after the pandemic, they really developed to the next level with the support of institutions in China like Goethe Institute, or they work closely with Alliance Française. So they try to bring short film to the next level, to tell people like it's not only the feature films that you should pay attention to, but short films can be also very, very innovative and interesting to watch. Also, like for some documentary film festivals, like Xihu Documentary Film Festival is playing a more and more important role in the industry, as the festival is organized by Chinese Academy of Art. So it has a very strong academic background. So together with the screenings, they always organize panel talks, or they organize discussions in a more academic direction. And they also have a very nice project markets where you can see what are the new films coming up, or what are the projects that are being developed by the filmmakers. It's also a very nice add-on to the current Chinese film market, because we don't really have documentary films distributed in the theaters. And the only documentary films that you can watch are either on television, which are like these boring television documentaries, or the short documentaries that are distributed online. So on Bilibili, maybe you can watch some series, documentary series on food, local culture of each province. But I mean, they are quite traditionally made, and I mean, not maybe the production value is there, but they are not innovative enough. So for the documentary film festival like Xihu, they really introduced the most avant-garde ways of documentary to the Chinese audience. Maybe even some boundary pushing films or edgy films or even challenging films. So it's really a nice add-on on what we can get from the mainstream platforms. So finally, we have the fourth category, which is specialized film showcase. These are not full-scale festivals, but rather curated screenings that focus on national or regional cinema. For instance, we have the German Film Festival and French Film Festival in Beijing, bringing the best of European cinema to the Chinese audience. These events often feature retrospectives of iconic directors like Wim Wenders or François Truffaut, fostering culture exchange and broadening the horizon of local filmgoers. Another example is Hong Kong Film Panorama, which tours mainland Chinese cities, showcasing classics and contemporary works from Hong Kong cinema. These showcases are vital for promoting cross-cultural understanding and appreciation. So each type plays a unique role in the film ecosystem, from promoting blockbuster cinema to nurturing independent voices and fostering cultural exchange. Next page, please. So now I will talk more in details about the examples that I want to give for each category. Yeah, so first of all, is of course Shanghai International Film Festival. I have such a strong emotional attachment to the festival because I started to, it was actually my first experience working with a film festival. When I was in college, I did an internship in Shanghai at Shanghai International Film Festival in the subtitle translation department. So back then it was like an eye-opening experience to observe how a festival works or operates. Then, thanks to this experience, I decided to maybe work more in this direction in the festival scene or in the film industry in general. So it's very nice to talk about the festival and give you like a more detailed introduction of the festival. So as I said, it's one of Asia's most prestigious film festivals. It was founded in 1983, making it one of the oldest international film festivals in Asia. Over the years, it has grown into a major platform of global cinema. For example, in its inaugural years, Shanghai International Film Festival only screened 130 films, but by 2023, the number skyrocketed to over 450 films from more than 100 countries. A milestone was in 2014 when Shanghai International Film Festival became the first Chinese film festival to be accredited by the International Federation of Film Producers Association, FIAPF. This recognized, actually, there are only 14 A-list festivals around the world, including Cannes, Berlin, Venice, and Warsaw, Tallinn, and most of them are based in Europe. So Shanghai is really like among one of the best festivals in the world, recognized by the producer associations. So this recognition cemented its status as a global player. So over the years, Shanghai has been showcasing the most important works from the most important filmmakers around the world. And up to this day, Shanghai is a massive event. Like the statistics shows that in 2023, it attracted over 500,000 attendees, including filmmakers, critics, and audience from around the world. The festival also features multiple sections, such as the competition section, the Golden Globelet, It's the name of the award. They also have very nice gala premieres where the stars, mostly Chinese stars and influential filmmakers, would attend. And they have a very, very comprehensive or diversified panorama sections that showcase the film from Asia and all around the world. The good thing about Shanghai is that it takes place in June, 1 month after Cannes. So there's an advantage of this period because the programmers they used to go to Cannes and they discover the latest important art house cinema from Cannes directly, and they try to negotiate a screening in Shanghai. That's very beneficial for the local audience because they can really have the chance to watch the latest Cannes titles right after their premieres in Cannes. So people called it like zero time difference screening after Cannes. That attracts lots of audience to the cinema in Shanghai. And another feature of Shanghai International Film Festival is that thanks to the programmers who are more specialized in Japanese films. The There are lots of nice films from Japan being shown in Shanghai, and usually they sold out super fast. And for some reason, the Shanghai audience are super passionate about Japanese films, and sometimes the one hot Japanese title, like the ticket for one hot Japanese title, can be doubled or even tripled from the original price. So there's really a buzz around Japanese titles, which makes Shanghai quite unique among other festivals. One important role that Shanghai plays is that they also have a very important industry section. They have a WIP section where the filming progress, like the film that are like the shooting is finished and they're doing post-production, the directors can show the film to the industry decision makers and investors and future collaborators to see if they're interested in collaboration. So Shanghai usually choose around 15 projects per year to show, and this is like a really important showcase for us to discover what are the upcoming titles that might hit the world. So as company, we always attend Shanghai to discover new projects. Shanghai also has a showcase of VR films, which is also not very common in Chinese film festivals, because VR is the maybe the next trendy stuff that will become more and more popular. So Shanghai has a showcase of that. So it's really interesting to see how Shanghai will develop in the future because it also tries to become even more international as it formed a Belt and Road Film Festival Alliance, so 一带一路电影联盟. So it tries to work with lots of other film festivals in the country, in other countries, and to they try to promote the Chinese films to the other country, to the festivals in other countries. So this creates a very nice and natural exchange between cultures. And Shanghai is the leader of this alliance, so it always takes initiative in promoting the Chinese films and receiving the films from other countries. So we really hope that this can continue because such alliance is also quite rare in the film industry. Next page, please. And so Pingyao will be another example that I want to talk about. For the second category, Pingyao is super interesting for film goers and for industry people because it's kind of like a festival that Jia Zhangke wanted to create, imitating Festival de Cannes. So Jia Zhangke established this festival in 2017 as one of China's most celebrated directors. Jia Zhangke is known for films like Still Life and A Touch of Sin. And as you may know, Jia Zhangke's film has traveled very widely in the international markets. So his film he always worked with a French sales agent, and his films were sold to lots of other territories. And then he was thinking about creating a festival in his hometown, Shanxi province. And that was the where he got the support from the local government, and then he started to do this festival in 2017. So what Jia Zhangke wanted to achieve is to create a town of cinema where people can go and hang out and talk about film in a very intimate way. Usually, a festival takes place in a city like Shanghai. It's like the cinemas scattered across the city, so it's even takes you a long time to travel from one cinema to another if you want to catch a screening. But like in Cannes, it's a very small town where everything gathers together, and from the Palais du Cinema to the market to some special event, you just need to walk. So this is the ideal model for Jia Zhangke, and he created this Pingyao Film Palace in Pingyao Old Town. It's a very compact place where you have multiple screening rooms, and then you have a platform. It's called platform screening room, which is like an open air place. It's an open air screening venue where you can hold like gatherings or opening or closing ceremony, and they have like restaurants close by and some special events for the press conference. So everything is very close to each other, which means you can just be there and you watch a film and you walk 5 minutes to a restaurant to talk about the film with the director. So everything is carried out in a small scale, in a very intimate way. And I think that's the ideal model of a film festival for Jia Zhangke, which really works because people love going to Pingyao, as the program itself is amazing, and the venue itself has its own charm. And the venue also is located in the old town of Pingyao, which is like an amazing place to explore. And more importantly, the curation of the festival is very, very international. I can say Pingyao is maybe one of the most international film festivals in China. Even Shanghai has a larger program. Pingyao's program is more curated and follow more tightly the latest trend of the world cinema, thanks to the vision of Jia Zhangke and the collaborators like Lin Xudong and Marco Müller. They really picked the best of the best from the top festivals around the world, and they discover the new talents from China with lots of enthusiasm. In Pingyao, there are two competitions. One is called Crouching Tiger, one is called Hidden Dragon. So they take titles from An Li's film. And Crouching Tiger is the international competition, and Hidden Dragon is the Chinese language cinema competition. And very interestingly, since last year, they started to invite international juries to judge the Chinese film, and they invite Chinese juries to judge the international film, which is a very innovative way to do the film judgment, to be honest, because usually it's the Chinese jury to judge the Chinese films, but it's like you have such prejudice already, and the rules are all set, and for the Chinese juries, they already know maybe most of the filmmakers, so they can't make the judgment in a good way. That's why I think it's really a good decision to introduce like international juries to have some fresh perspectives. And the jury really picked like really pick the award winner in a very surprising way, because last year there was a tiny film that won the biggest prize, and I think thanks to this fresh perspective, this film can be finally discovered by the mass audience. And one more thing about Pingyao is that since it is located in Pingyao, which is not, it's a touristic town, but it's like apart from the festival, it doesn't have a connection with cinema at all. So all the audience of Pingyao International Festival actually travel to the town specifically for the festival. So you can see the enthusiasm that the cinephiles have towards such festival. It's not like you live in Shanghai, so you go to Shanghai International. No, they specifically pay for the travel, pay for the hotel, pay for the food, in order to see some nice films from the festival. So that's really a touching experience. Every time I go there, I was moved by how passionate those young cinephiles are, and also for the filmmakers, it's always a great pleasure to be in Pingyao. And thanks to the international connections of Jia Zhangke and Marco Müller, Pingyao is also one of the festivals that gets most international media attention, because they also invite lots of journalists from Europe and from the US to come to China to discover the new talents. And they put lots of effort in inviting the best journalists from the Western world, let's say. Of course, this was interrupted by the pandemic, but since last year, the festival was resumed, and I think all the journalists started to come back to Pingyao. So this is really a nice experience of how like a festival initiated by an individual can enjoy success and can enjoy the attention from both local level and international level. Next page, please. Okay, so the last example that I would like to talk about is First International Film Festival. Actually, even there's the word international in this film festival. It's mainly focused on the Chinese filmmakers and the Chinese cinema, so it doesn't have international competition or the showcase of international cinema. It's purely about the Chinese cinema and the young talents from China. I would say it's the most influential platforms for emergent filmmakers. Known for its bold programming and commitment to independent cinema, First has become a vital space for discovering new voices in China. And it was founded in 2006, so quite a while ago. Originally it was a student film festival in Beijing, focusing on student films, so like the short films produced by student or amateur filmmakers. In 2011, so 5 years after its foundation, it underwent a significant transformation, rebranding it as First International Film Festival. So actually, First is the acronym standing for F for forward, I for innovation, R for responsibility, S for society, and T for technology. And at the same year, the festival relocated itself to Xining in Qinghai province, which is really like a remote province that no one would go to specifically for film festival. But since it's quite far from Beijing, it can it can create some like special events that is like probably not that easy to be carried out in Beijing. Um, so it also gets lots of local support from the Qinghai government, and like rumors said that the festival would be relocated to other provinces because other provinces are jealous about Qinghai having this festival, so they also want to have like this festival or like a similar festival. So it's always like people are always guessing if first will move to another province. But up to now, it's still in Xining, and every year in summer, it still takes place in Xining, which is really nice because it's not that hot in Xining in summer, and people can enjoy cinema in a cool atmosphere. So as I said, First is renowned for its focus on discovering and promoting emerging filmmakers, particularly young talents. The festival emphasizes a lot on independency of cinema and being innovative. It tries to bring the young directors to the limelight and to pitch their projects to, like I said, bigger studios or bigger investment companies. So First also has a very, very good market, project market, and they also has a training camp, and it's called like training camp, which is a bit weird, but they have this training program where students or young filmmakers can join, and they will give them a specific topic, and they will allocate some tutors to work together with the young filmmakers, and they will decide what to shot, what stories to tell, and they need to make a short film during like maybe 3 days of 3 days during the festival in Xining. And at the end of the training camp, they need to show the shorts. They need to shoot the film and edit the film and make it as a short film to be ready to show to the audience. So it's like a really intense camp that young filmmakers can get access to the industry professionals, or like really or work with really famous filmmakers, even like work with international filmmakers as their tutor. So every year lots of young filmmakers would apply for the training camp of First and go to Xining to shoot their shorts. So yes, First has made a significant impact on the Chinese and even global film industry, I would say. It's widely recognized as Chinese most influential platforms for independent cinema. And for example, Hobos and Elephant Sitting Still was shown in First in 2018 and went to numerous film festivals around the world after that, including Berlinale. And it also First also gets global attention because the programmers of Western film festivals intend to go to First to find the latest work of the young talents. So it's also quite important for the Western programmers that there is a Chinese film festival that specializes in discovering new talents who could tell them what to see and what is new about the Chinese independent cinema. Next page, please. Yeah, so after talking so much about individual film festivals, I want to go back to the topic of the Chinese distribution market or the Chinese market in general, because then I will talk about how the film festival can be a nice add-on to the distribution to the Chinese film market in general. So actually, the Chinese film market is characterized by its vast screen count, reliance on seasonal blockbusters, limited diversity in film offerings, and streaming platform dominance. So there are, like, according to me, there are four characteristics that can describe the Chinese film market. So first of all, of course, we have lots of screens in China, lots of cinemas, lots of screens. In 2024, I think China still boasts the largest number of cinema screens globally, with over 82,000 screens of last year. That's the number that I got from the internet. Despite a slowdown in growth during the pandemic, the expansion of cinema infrastructure remains significant. For example, in 2021, China added over 8,000 new screens, demonstrating its commitment to building a robust film exhibition network. Cities like Shanghai and Beijing are, of course, the home of some of the most advanced multiplexes, such as Shanghai Film Art Center and Beijing UME International Cineplex. So there are cinemas of multiple screens, even like more than 10 screens in one cinema. Of course, there are smaller cinemas with only one or two screens, but in general, the most common cinema that we see in China are the cinemas located in shopping malls and with like lots of screens and with like Dolby sound infrastructure. So they are like really good cinemas with like much more advanced equipment compared to Europe, I would say. So the second characteristic of the Chinese film market is that it's heavily it rely on the key release windows. So that's what we call 档期 in Chinese. So it depends on the key release windows, particularly the Spring Festival and the summer season, summer holiday, 暑期档. So I think everyone is talking about the Spring Festival, like the performance of the box office this Spring Festival. Thanks to Naja and thanks to Chinatown Detective, the box office this year is really, really satisfying, which gives us a very positive pump in the spirit. And like the whole film industry is very optimistic about what we're going to achieve, which is good. But apart from that, actually, the Chinese film market is like apart from the Spring Festival and the summer season, the other slots are quite difficult to for film distribution, and the two most important slots, Spring Festival and the summer holiday, can usually contribute 30 to 40% of the annual box office revenue. For example, this year the Spring Festival is very good, and in the previous years, films like The Wandering Earth, like in 2019, or Hi Mom, 你好，李焕英 in 2021, achieved record-breaking earnings, with the latter becoming China's highest grossing film of all time. But yeah, of course, this year哪吒 2 is taking the lead. And for the summer season, movies like Detective Chinatown in 2021 capitalized on the youth and family audience, earning billions of yuans during this period. So these are the two most important period of the releasing in the Chinese market. The third characteristic is of the Chinese film distribution is that we don't have like there's a lack of diversity, if I have to be honest, because the market is dominated by commercial films and mainstream propaganda films, so 主旋律片, leaving little room for art house cinema and documentaries, as I mentioned before. So for commercial films, blockbusters like Wolf Warrior 2, 战狼, The Battle at Lake Changjing, 长津湖战役, dominate the box office, often blending action with patriotic themes. So these kind of films are dominating the cinema for most of the time, together with other propaganda films like the 800, 八百, and My People, My Country, the films that celebrates national achievements and historical events, appealing to both audience and policymakers. So aside from those bigger titles, there are really a very small room for art films, even for films like Journey to the West, or for films like Jia Zhangke's film even, they don't have much slots to take, and the cinema managers intend not to give too much slots to those films. And of course, the audience, they don't choose to go to these films because they are not entertaining enough. They are in a traditional way. So it's very sad, but it's the reality. And furthermore, like documentary films or short films, they don't have channels of distributions at all. Of course, you can see one or two documentary films in Chinese cinema from time to time, but they are never like a hit film that everyone's talking about, compared to like Western markets. And also the television documentary is so different from the documentary films that should be released in the theater. So we don't have this niche market, and furthermore, we don't have a niche market, or we don't have a cinema alliance like we have here in Europe that specialize in showcasing the art house cinema. So that's something that we are missing in our market. Therefore, the lack of diversity restricts the range of stories and perspectives available to the Chinese audience. So the audience can only get access to those content through film festival. Otherwise, there's no channel to see those content. And of course, for the fourth characteristic of the Chinese film market is that the non-theatrical distribution is getting more and more popular. I mean, of course, it's a worldwide trend that people are now they intend to watch films on Netflix or on YouTube, or they just want to stay at home. They don't want to buy tickets to go to the cinema anymore. But it's like really more significant in the Chinese market, because we have also very limited choices of platforms in terms of the streaming platforms. Like we only have iQIYI, Youku, Bilibili, some of the major platforms that showcase like very mixed content, but we don't have like a catering like platforms that cater or curate special content for the niche market. Like here in Europe, we have some platforms that focus in short films, or some platforms that specialize in documentaries, some platforms that specialize in Asian content, for example. But in China, everything is mixed, and they are all acquired by bigger streaming platforms, and they are not divided or like categorized in a careful way. So for the audience who use streaming platforms, they can't really find what they want to watch. And if they can't find something very quickly, they intend to watch what the algorithms tells them to watch. So they are very much led by the algorithm in terms of like the choice that they want to see. And also like the overseas platforms that like Netflix and like other mainstream platforms from the Western countries are not accessible to the Chinese audience. Therefore, the choice is further limited. So that said, we have a very big market, but we also have lots of aspects in the market that needs to be improved or needs to be fixed. Therefore, yeah, the distribution of certain cinema in China is not always easy. Together with the problem of the censorship, of course, it makes the distribution of certain cinema even more difficult. Next page, please. So there are challenges in our market. Street censorship is one of them. Yeah, so films in China have to go through very strict review by the China Film Administration to ensure they meet the political and the cultural standard. And of course, it's challenging for art house cinema because sometimes they tackle some taboo topic, or sometimes they talk about some like they are quite controversial topics being discussed in the films. So it further limited the distribution opportunities of those films. And of course, the statistic is nice, but sometimes for like smaller films, the distributor don't want to put them in the theater. They want to release them directly online to reduce the cost of promotion. So it's not, of course, it's not what the filmmakers want, because everyone wants their films to be seen on the big screen. So it's very tricky for the filmmakers, and to like it's very tricky to find the balance between the filmmakers and the distributors. So the market doesn't always satisfy your need. That's why like the festival plays an important role. So because the film made by the artist can be shown on the big screen, which is like a really, really important factor for the creators of the film. Also, like for the foreign films, that can like for the foreign films, not every big title can be shown in China or will be shown in China, because we have a very limited space to host all these films. And usually the cinema manager and also the distributors, they intend to take big Hollywood films with no names. But for the films from France, the films from Germany, like not so many of them will hit the screens in China. And we also have a quota system that only a limited, like a certain number of foreign films can get the license. Of course, this number has been increased over the years, and you have alternative distribution methods to make the foreign films seen by the Chinese audience. But still, in the cinema, it's not always easy to spot art house film from Europe, for example. So this is like another challenge in our market in terms of showing foreign films. Um, so so that's being said, again, for film festivals, they are the additional channels, and maybe the only channel for the cinephiles and moviegoers to watch certain films. And it serves as a bridge for international cinema, offering audiences rare opportunities to view those films that are otherwise inaccessible due to strict import quotas and censorship. Events like German Film Festival and Shanghai International Film Festival showcase diverse global cinema. Um, and those festivals also act as a platform for art house films, as I said before. So I think it's very rewarding to see that the festivals are growing, and there are more and more festivals coming up. And thanks to the organization of and passionate individuals, those festivals are gaining more and more attention from either the film goers or the media or the professionals. Of course, now every film festival in China also has to collaborate or go through the censorship system. But for some reason, the films that can be seen during festivals are actually they like the content is doesn't have to be like the film festival can show some taboo content, let's say. So it's not that rigorous or rigid compared to the films that will have commercial release in the theater. So film festival plays an important role again in bridging different cultures and creating diversity in our market. And also with lots of international filmmakers coming to China and participating in Chinese film festivals, there are more opportunities for co-production in the future, because some Western directors, they want to shoot a Chinese story collaborating with Chinese actors and actresses, that further helped the Chinese film industry to be seen by the international markets. So it's very beneficial for both sides, for the Chinese filmmakers and for the Western filmmakers. So I think that's all for my presentation for now. And thank you for listening. And I'm very curious about what you think, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask, or if you have anything to discuss, feel free to say it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Vielen Dank, Liuying. So, wir haben unter dieser Stunde reichliche Stoffe und Infos über chinesische Filmfestivalgeschichte bzw. Marketsituation von Ihnen bekommen können. Und selbst werde ich sicher auch diese Stoffe nochmal verdauen lassen. Und wir sind jetzt bereit für noch eine oder andere Frage von alle Veranstaltungsteilnehmer, online als auch in Präsenz. Herr Marx, haben Sie keine weitere Frage? Und Anti, wie schaut es aus unter unseren Online-Teilnehmern?
Online gibt es keine Frage.
Okay. Übrigens, wir haben auch den heutigen Vortrag von Frau Liuying aufnehmen lassen, dass das als Nachsehensmöglichkeit auf unserem YouTube-Kanal demnächst auch veröffentlicht. Und für diejenigen, die unseren heutigen Termin verpassen müssen, aus unterschiedlichen Gründen, da haben wir sicher noch die nächste Nachsehensmöglichkeit. An dieser Stelle würde ich allen sagen, vielen Dank, dass Sie dabei sind. Und im März, da haben wir wieder pünktlich zu den angewandten Termin am zweiten Freitag, dem 14. März, alle wiedersehen. Herzlichen Dank und Liuying, 非常感谢。
Ja, ich danke Ihnen für die Einladung und ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Abend und Happy Valentine's Day.
Und außerdem viel Erfolg und schöne Grüße an eurem Team in Berlin.
Danke, danke.
Und es freut uns auf das nächste Treffen wieder bei uns hier in München.
Ja, dieses Jahr, ja.
Ja, genau. Und ich hoffe sehr bald dann.
Ja, wir sehen
Also,
uns bald. Dankeschön.
jawohl, schönen Abend
Schönen Abend.
allerseits. Tschüss.
Ciao.
我也挂了，拜拜，老师，拜拜，俊彤。